Hey, I'm Rêve and I'm hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show. We are super excited to welcome to Virgin Radio the one and only Montreal recording artist, Rêve. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am very excited to have you on the show and on the station because we play your songs all the time, so this is good news.
Thank you so much.
So, new album, Saturn Return.
Debut album.
Yes, and so first of all, have you been able to take in the fact that like you've had forever to work on your debut album and now it's time to go?
It really doesn't, it's still surreal. I don't think that I'll ever have this much time to create, my next album because it was done in the middle of the pandemic where everything was a bit slower. Mm-hmm. But it's very surreal that after 3 years, it's coming out.
Talk to us about how you came up with the idea to name it that, and then explain the importance of Montreal, because any press and any show prep I've read about before doing this interview talks about how Montreal is so focal to you. So explain that for us.
Okay, so let's start with the title of the track, or title of the album, sorry, but there is a track on the album called Saturn Return. It's the title track. So Saturn Return is an astrological event that happens in your life around 27 to 30 years old. And they say that this time in your life is, where you learn a lot of hard lessons and you really come into your own for the first time. And so this album kind of explores the trials and tribulations, the wins, the losses, the love, that I've experienced over the last, 10 years. So it's really a snapshot of that. And I'm so proud of this album because Montreal has had a massive influence. Like all of the stories that are told on this album come from here. So it's a love letter to Montreal and it's a love letter to dance music.
And do you think that you're gonna have to, because I always like asking Canadian artists, and some people make the move and some people don't, but do you think you'll have to make the move to Los Angeles in order to keep the career going in a trajectory that you want, or do you think you can do it from here?
We shall see. I mean, of course you can work from anywhere, but I think it's really important to be on the ground in the markets that you're trying to break. So as much as I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time in the US, I'm gonna have to spend more time in Canada, more time abroad. So I guess it all really just depends.
Okay. Now let's discuss the sequencing of the album, because first of all, a lot of artists these days don't even release albums. It's like single. And so I wanna know if you are telling a story and how much you slaved over sequencing the album.
I'm so happy you asked this question because I'm an album girl. And like you said, it's so rare in this day and age of like, we're in a singles market. Our attention spans are a lot shorter than they used to be. Like with streaming, like you can just put on any song that you want. Gone are the days of, popping in a CD and having to skip through all of the tracks to get to your favorite one. Mm-hmm. But since I grew up listening to albums cover to cover, I think I'm just like so honored that I'm in this day and age able to do a full length LP. It's 13 tracks. And so it was really important to me to sit with the music and really track list it appropriately. So I sat with it for a very long time and I was very intentional about the order because I think every great album has peaks and valleys and that's an intentional work for sure.
See, you've impressed me even more. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I really think that people need to understand if they're doing an album, you need to have a plan and it's not just haphazard.
Yeah.
And it needs to tell a story, even if you're not necessarily trying to tell a big story with beginning, middle, and end, but it needs to kind of flow. So I think it's important that you did that.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to ask you too, your relationship with Banks and Ranks, like, you know how certain artists, like they stick with someone? Like Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff, like they just keep cranking out hits. Do you feel like Banks and Ranks are your Jack Antonoff?
They are.
Okay.
They really are.
Okay, good to know. Writing obviously super important to you. I know I read something where you basically said that spilling your guts is your favorite thing to do.
It is.
And so how important is you writing on everything?
Extremely.
Okay.
Extremely. Like I've either written or co-written every, song on the project. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's authenticity is really, really special and it has to come from you. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes it doesn't mean if like an amazing song came across my desk that I wouldn't cut it because, a great song is a great song and there's other amazing creators in the world. But it's really important to my creative process to be involved and to really be intentional about my narrative and my sound. And
social media, you mentioned it before. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite platform and what's the best part about being able to connect with your fans in this way, whereas like years ago it wasn't possible?
I think that as much as my TikTok is a work in progress, because I'm a really in the moment person. I just think that it's such a beautiful platform and it's my favorite for the following reason. I think that it's so special because you get to connect with your fans in real time. Like never before have you had the potential to post a video and potentially connect to like millions of people at once and say, hey, do you like this? And then an hour later have your answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, we want to do some fast fact questions with you because I think this will be fun for your fans. So if you could switch places with another artist for one day, who would it be and why?
Lady Gaga.
Tell me why.
Absolutely iconic.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
I mean, I bet, just imagine. Can you imagine?
Yeah. You know what's funny is I interviewed her just before she blew up. And I said to her, what's your goal for the next 6 months to a year? And she said world domination. She did it.
She did the thing.
Yeah, she did the thing.
She did the thing.
Finish this sentence. The best thing about Montreal is?
The people.
Okay, cool. And favorite thing about Canada?
Ooh, Canada is great. We're so fortunate here. I think that, I just think that peace and like our laws.
Yeah, that's true. No,
that's like,
true.
It's kind of like a basic question, but like there's so much violence and gun violence even just south of the border. And I think that, I don't know, we're so multicultural. I'm so proud of how multicultural we are as a country. I'm so proud of our laws and the way that we protect people. I mean, we still have a long way to go in a lot of ways, but yeah.
Favorite pizza topping?
Prosciutto.
Oh, wait, really? No one's ever said that to me before. That's very good. I know we're out of summer for the most part, but favorite flavor of ice cream?
Pistachio.
Nice. No one ever says that either.
Really? It's nutty. It's great.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. And favorite board game of all time?
Oh my goodness. I just started getting into Catan.
Okay. That's cool.
And at first I was like, I'm never going to learn how to do this. But now it's really I'm so competitive. And yeah, it's a thing.
Now that the album is out, what are you manifesting for yourself for the next 6 years, or 6 months, I should say, to a year?
Just connecting with people over like a body of work. It's great to promote a single, but to really be able to tell a full story. So connecting with people about that, and also seeing which tracks are their favorite and why. Touring like on a much larger scale and like doing a proper headline. So most excited for that, and then working on a second album. But I'm gonna try and live in this.
You should.
As much as I can.
And message for your hometown Montreal fans.
I love you. You are at the heart of every single thing that I do, and my number one goal is just to make you proud.
You rock. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Make sure you follow Juno Award-winning recording artist Rêve on all of our social media at RevMTL. Hey, it's Kelly, and I just want to take a moment to thank you so much for all of the support that you continue to show The Kelly Alexander Show and our latest program, Just Dance, that I co-host with award-winning choreographer Tina Landon. We've been having so much fun on Just Dance, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. We've done interviews with Brian and Scott Nicholson, who work with Ariana Grande, RJ and Nick, who work with Pink and Katy Perry, Luther Brown, who works with our girl Janet Jackson, and the list goes on and on. And we also have many surprises coming for you in this coming year. So please sign up and join us to have lots of fun. hy.page/Kelly Alexander Show, our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show, and our newsletter, which is kellyalexandershow.com/subscribe.